Hello everybody, this is Christian Pokemon Champion here with another video. How fast can I beat Pokemon Platinum? Using only the Master of the Underworld. Some of you may know that I previously did a speedrun of the same game, but with Arceus. Though it was done quite epically, if I may say so myself, in song form. Definitely not doing that this time. That was a really tough video to make, guys. This time instead, I wanted to explain exactly my thoughts as I do a challenge like this for you. Speedruns can be a little complex at times, so I wanted to do this challenge justice. Now, the rules. As this is a speedrun, time is a valuable thing. Time is defined by the time committed outside of the gaming timer. But for Pokemon challenge speedruns, so legendary speedruns from Zwiggo and J-Bros, time is indicated by the end time of the game. Of course, this challenge is a little more intricate than normal on the street challenge. This time, you gotta go like really fast. Like, I am speed fast. We can only use Giratina, HM murders are allowed, the use of turbo is definitely banned, and items are actually allowed?
Well, that's fine, but I don't see how that affects. What?
Here's why. The goal, at least in my opinion, of a speedrun is to win as fast as possible, which is why items aren't normally allowed in regular speedruns. It also goes without saying that a single Giratina can definitely beat this game. I mean, if a Mankey with a Toxic Orb can win, I'm sure this dude can also. The challenge part of this challenge is then discovering what the best route is for Giratina to win at the literal quickest pace. Items are generally not allowed in solo challenges because it has been normalized. That and us challenge tubers don't want the winner to be items rather than the solo Pokemon. But I believe it's kind of unnecessary for speedruns to have this rule for reasons already discussed. However, if you're not a fan of this allowance of items, I am willing to go ahead and not do items in future speedruns if it's popular enough in the comments. But in the meantime, go ahead and check out Zwiggo speedruns. He actually does not allow items in his. So, link in the card thingy. Now let's begin! As we begin our rapid journey, we immediately break tradition by nicknaming myself the letter D instead of Job Jr. Tradition!
Tradition! Tradition!
For real though, Fiddler on the Roof is a GOAT tier musical. We also allow the game to nickname our rival Diamond by clicking the OK button so that we ourselves do not have to. These are just two examples of ways to save on time. So for now on, whenever I do something that ultimately saves time, I'll detail these events to you. After watching the news,
and won't know for sure if they'll pick St. Louis as the site of their convention until June.
We can both increase the speed of the text and disable battle animations. Two super important things to do. Yes, I know I have to hurry. Barry, this is a speed run. Now, of course, I replaced Turtwig with Giratina since Turtwig is the default Pokemon for the suitcase. I do have to mention that at this point, I could have saved some time by being the girl, Dawn, as the character. While it is definitely misogynistic, Game Freak, they designed Dawn to have more lines of dialogue than the male equivalent. I don't see it taking a lot of time, but it does affect the run. So in the future, CPC, let's try to do that. Along the way to the next city, I nicknamed Giratina T, and catch a Bidoof as an HM martyr. You do have a few trainers here along this route. Just make sure you talk to them directly. It saves time avoiding them due to the Metal Gear thing they do. In the city, after talking to our rival, I obtained this X attack. As been mentioned in the rules, I can use items to help me in this challenge. And X items, for the first time ever, aren't actually entirely useless. I also make an effort to buy a couple of items in the mart. I have a gym battle soon, so I want to prevent any issues. Along the way to the gym, I'm aware of just how low T's level is. By the way, use the escape rope immediately after talking to Roark. In fact, by the time we skip the trainers in the gym and fight Roark, T is at level 9. Thankfully, Roark's team has more defense than special defense, so only 2 Dragon Breaths beat Geodude. It's also useful that he used Stealth Rock instead of attacking. This increases our odds of beating his next Pokemon. Honestly, it's somewhat a risk to fight Roark at this level. That is, it's not a guaranteed win, according to the math that is. Nonetheless, Cranidos is next. He used Leer and I got a critted Dragon Breath. Next turn he healed, frankly a little premature, but I attacked again. He uses a pretty scary pursuit, and now that Dragon Breath is doing normal damage, it's not looking very good. Epically, it paralyzed him, which honestly was the reason why I won, if I'm frank. Was he able to attack one more time, he would have won. That and it made Giratina faster. I was way lucky there. Prior to Onix coming out, T learns Ominous Wind. Is that a fart joke? I immediately use my new move, Take in Half, while they throw a rock. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but you, my friend, are getting my health bill. Last turn, defeat them with Morning Breath. By the way, if Onix is made of rocks, and he throws rocks, what's the human equivalent to that? Don't think about that too hard. Once you defeat the first gym, it's a good idea to buy some repels from the market above the gym. Barely defeating Commander Mars, why are you always tough? I head straight to the next gym. Real quick, when it comes to using Pokecenters during a speedrun, the best kind of speedrunners are able to practically never use them. But since I'm CPC, it is expected that I use them. Alright, so for Gardenia, I did fail my first attempt. Gardenia is terrible for speedruns, apparently, since I have trouble with her every single time. But I do win on my second attempt. So here's how this one went. Turtwig is first, and I quickly use Ominous Wind, while he used reflect. Seeing how I don't actually have any physical moves, I would recommend a better move, Giratina, but I'm not complaining. Next turn I attacked again, getting to healing range. Their next attack is a Grassy Knot, which for it not being the fact that it's ineffective against dragon type Pokemon, that would have done a ton of damage on Giratina since he's so thick. They of course heal next turn. I decide to continue using Ominous Wind in the hopes of a power boost. I might need them for the Rose Raid. A Looming Wind and the grass with split ends, though this time with a crit. Next turn I finish them off. Cheer is up and they use Sailor's Knot. This time I choose to use Dragon Breath, which paralyzes them. I might be a lucky boy. A Dragon Breath and a Grass Knot. I am not liking how low my health is. Nonetheless, I attack while they are paralyzed. They healed? Ugh. So I had to attack again. Following my attack, their attack got T to red health. So now I have to use a Super Potion. Thereafter, I got another Grass Knot on T. I attacked, so little health left. Whereby they got paralyzed again. Next turn, I finally took them out. Despite the fact that I'm using a legendary Pokemon, it's surprisingly difficult to fight these gym leaders. I know T is a lower leveled, but his stats are dope. Her last Pokemon, Rose Raid, is up. Her first move is, bleeping guessed it, Grass Knot. I swear, Giratina, you give me the TM for Grass Knot, just so help me. Oh, and I attacked with my breath. Their next move is Stun Spore, which I'm super grateful it missed. I attacked once again. Unfortunately, next turn I attacked, initiating the berry. Moreover, their attack got T to red health, which made me heal him, while also sustaining yet another Grass Knot. I swear, Giratina's Lawnmower dude is gonna have a field day. Get it? Field day? A Grass Knot, and a Dragon Breath. Oh hi Giratina. To avoid losing to a crit, I made sure to heal. Now I can finally feign Rose Raid after 2 more attacks. After beating Giratina, we do have to attend to Team Galactic. It is smart to remember this order to avoid all interactions. Right, middle, and middle. Don't talk to me on sterile. Hereafter, get the Explorer Kit, and for the love of
Smitty Werb and Jagerman Jensen,
say no to going underground. That would be a terrible thing for a speedrun. We also have to get the bike. If you're good at maneuvering with the bike, definitely use it. I'll try, but sometimes it's better just for a novice like me to run in more complex areas. At this point of the run, I made a grave error. The error came about upon the research that I did prior to doing the challenge. Error number 1. I was not aware that Giratina does not go into attack mode unless it has a Gracious Orb, I don't know how to say that. This meant that my Giratina was more bulky and less attack savvy, which of course lost a lot of time. Error number 2 was when looking through Giratina's move pool. I misread that this dude has 2 separate move pools. One for Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and one for this game. The problem was that I was looking at the HGSS column and not on the Platinum one. So I thought that T would learn Earth Power early on, but then the live chat informed me that I'm a dingus butt, and I was counting on having a strong Earth move. So I decided to get the TM for Earthquake in this cave. But it took me, and I'm not joking, 12 minutes to get it. I could not get past these stupid ramps to save my life! And even worse, I later did find out that Giratina was going to level up past level 60, which is when he learns Earth Power in this game. So I didn't even need to do this little adventure in the cave in the first place. I was livid. Just continue the challenge. Past that negative note, here are some items to keep in mind that you ought to pick up. It wouldn't be too out of the way. Like this rare candy, just try to avoid the trainers here. Now in Hearthome City, I take the time to also obtain this shell bell. Might come in use later. While in the gym, try to be careful about the shapes. And now let's fight Fantina. First up is Duskull. He sneaks at me and I use Ominous Wind. While it is great that I have a super effective move, I'm also very susceptible to their ghost type moves as well. They heal and once again I attacked. Just give me the sweet nectar of the stat boosts already. I use Ancient Power, which surprisingly didn't defeat him, which meant that he was able to use a pursuit on me. Well, at least Shell Bell is helping out. Another old strength got him, and ooh, stat boost. Miss Magius is out. I turned out to be faster than them, so I'm guessing the speed boost helped that way. And ooh, another speed boost. Their Citrus Berry ignited, and they used Shadow Ball. Another Ominous Wind took them out, and with a crit. While I did have some bad luck with that TM in the Earthquake Cave, at least this gym is going relatively nicely. Fantina's final Pokemon's Haunter, and gratefully my Ominous Wind beat him. After beating Nihilihu, I felt it best to catch a B-Barrel, which will help out with some more HMs. Either! I like to think that while there is a lot that I could have done to lower the time, there are essentially 2 big oof moments in the speedrun that I wish I could have prevented. The TM Earthquake Cave, and this double battle. Since I felt fighting them individually would have cost a lot of time, I felt it best to fight them both at once. Unfortunately, this Roselia had Leech Life, which is just the most annoying thing to deal with in a single Pokemon challenge run. So to my dismay, I did faint here, taking away necessary time. I'm a challenge tuber, dang it! Not a speedrunner! But it's good to learn these mistakes now, since I do have a plan for more speedruns in the future. Other than that, we can swiftly run to the 4th gym. When doing the research for this challenge, this gym's layout honestly scared me since it was so complex. But as long as you do diligence in memorizing the best route through, it becomes a breeze. For Maylene, her first Pokemon was Meditite. I used Ominous Wind, nearly taking them out. In response, I used Rock Tomb, lowering my speed, which meant that they were able to get a critted confusion on me prior to fainting. Machoka's next, and I used Dragon Breath to hopefully paralyze them, which it did. Honestly, I have dope luck when it comes to paralyzing with this move. Despite getting past the paralysis, they missed the Rock Tomb. Ha, sucks to suck. A Dragon Breath and a Rock Tomb. While lowering my speed is annoying, I'm pretty sure their Ludicolo is faster even with the 1 stat loss. One more attack took them out. I'm surprised they didn't heal, honestly. Ludicolo's up and they use Metal Claw, while I use a newly acquired Earthquake. Was a big word to get, but since we got it, might as well use it. One last Metal Claw and I finish them off with an Earthquake. Stop on your right foot and don't forget it! It'll save a ton of time. Also, on the way to the next gym, this station here has a dude that will heal your Pokemon much faster than a regular Poke Center. Tells you a little bit about the healthcare system now, doesn't it? Haha! Political jokes. So you can easily heal up just before the 5th gym. Speaking of, this is another gym that can easily disorient you, but at least it's not as bad as the previous gym. We're now ready to fight Chuck. I mean, Crash or Wake. Sorry dude, you just look like Chuck from Gen 4, but with a mask on. Wait a minute. Gyarados is his first Pokemon, and unfortunately his ability lowers my physical stat. So prior to my first move, I used an X attack on T. While I did that, they bit T. In fact, I did this 3 subsequent times, then healed. Doing so allowed me to just sweep their entire team. Floatzel was faster, so he was able to get a crunch on T before fainting. But Quagsire, because of their bulk, survived his attack, leading them to deal some damage. Unfortunately, this meant they healed. But since they only have 1 Hyper Potion, T was able to take them out with 2 more attacks. Once you obtain the 5th gym, we gotta do a Citizen's Arrest. But along the way, I decided to catch a Wingo for a flying HM Martyr. Giratina can weirdly learn fly, but I'd rather have a better move than that. Also, once you can pass the Psyduck plot device, we have to deal with this fog. Just a warning, be careful in regards to the fog since it'll lower your accuracy and potentially ruin a run if you're not careful. You can buy a couple of X items, which I could have done, but I opted out to save on time. Thinking now, it would probably be a good investment to have done so. Either way, it's somewhat of a gamble. Other than that, fly to Route 218 and go to the left opening to save on time. Sail to Iron Island to talk to the Lucario dude to get the HM, and awesomely, we can skip the entire cave since it's optional. So it's off to the 6th gym. Magneton is first, and I immediately spent the first 2 turns giving X attacks to T since their defense is pretty substantial. Because of that, Magneton lost to a single Earthquake. Steelix is next, and I of course use Earthquake. I'm somewhat surprised he survived, but Steelix's defense is pretty boss. In response, they use an unintimidating Sandstorm. Another Earthquake fainted them. Last up is Bastion, which is just so fun to say aloud. This one Earthquake was strong enough for this one. No. Slow down! Now, prior to defeating the next gym, there's a couple of interesting maneuvers you could do to save just a little bit of time, like using Surf to skip these battles, and running up these steps since you run slower in the snow. Seriously, the slightest decisions that speedrunners do are so interesting. Also in the gym, do not underestimate this puzzle. If I didn't previously memorize the pattern to save the most amount of time here, I'd probably have wasted minutes. You gotta give it to these speedrunners. These fools have to know everything about the entire game, and they can't just stop in the middle of the run to look at their notes. They basically have to have the mind of Rain Man to get through it. Anyway, Sneasel is our first opponent from Candace. For the first 2 moves, I once again stocked up on X items, though this time with X Special to garner my antiquated Fortitude, which predictably fainted them. Frostlass is up, and I'm honestly scared they'd faint T, so I gave them a Hyper Potion. Thankfully, they, instead of using a Ghost attack, used Blizzard, which they missed. Next turn, they used Double Team, and I of course missed on my first aged ability. I mean, why do I always miss on the first time someone uses Double Team? They again used Double Team, like a hack, but this time my Millennium Might got through, with a crit. Not sure if it mattered, but let's continue on anyway. Our next opponent is Piloswine, which did a good job tanking my attack. At least they used Hail instead of attacking. Next turn, I used an Ominous Wind to avoid the healing range, but instead it fainted them, which I guess makes a lot of sense since Ominous Wind is technically stronger in this case. Last up is our 44th president. A Relic Force? They got a pretty hefty avalanche on and I finished them off with an Ominous Wind, winning the match. Once you defeat Candace, interestingly enough, you can use Rocket Climb here. I never even knew this was here until now. Afterwards, there's a lot of fighting Team Galactic, which takes them about literally a whole entire hour. Not that we did poorly getting through them, it's just that this region depends on tenure rolls for its police force. Also, while in the Void Dimension, this area becomes another place to memorize the layout. Otherwise, you might get stuck. And yes, I memorized all these tough places. Hey, who put this mirror here? Okay, so once you've foiled Cyrus's plans, fly to the professor to talk with him. Am I the only person who accidentally calls every professor Professor Oak? Ride to Sunny Shore City, and we're already ready to fight the 8th and final gym. His first Pokemon is Jolteon, and since they're a fast Pokemon, they were able to get an Iron Tail on me. I used an Earthquake, and the dude survived it. Dang. So while they healed, I gave an X attack on T to, this time, KO them. Unfortunately, they paralyzed me prior to their fainting. This might suck later in the battle. The totally coolest Pokemon in this gen is up next. And since I'd rather not take a chance with the paralysis, I used paralysis heal on them, whereby Luxray used a super effective crunch. Thankfully, I was faster, so a single earthquake took them out. Electivire also lost to a single earthquake, and last is Raichu. Oh, and an earthquake beat them. Honestly, this gym was the main reason for getting the TM for earthquake. But despite this relatively swift win, I'm not sure if the time to obtain the TM offsetted this. The next obstacle prior to fighting the Elite Four is obviously the Victory Road. Again, all you have to do is just memorize the layout and you'll be alright. Though I was close to waiting out before the cave exit because of low PP. I made a huge gamble in fighting this dude, and it paid off. But that would have sucked so much if it didn't. Okay, so once I defeated not Elihu, you can save some time by healing using the PC rather than using the Poke Center. Take that, Nurse Joy! Aaron is our first Elite Four member to take down, and I ain't messing around. At once I use an X special attack. I might have used more here if Yanmega didn't use Double Team, so I decided to just use prehistoric capability since I knew it would KO them. With Drapion up, I now use my second X attack, while they use Ice Fang. Now that I've acquired Earth Power, I can easily take him out with one attack. Caesar withstood an Earth Power, and even got a critted Night Slash. Okay, Caesar. Okay. Gratefully, Aaron skipped healing them, so another attack fainted them. Heracross was brought out, an Earth Power, and a Night Slash. Why does everyone have Night Slash? Taking a risk, instead of healing, I went for an HM Power, which didn't faint them, so they were able to get another attack on me. Since I knew they would heal, I used Ominous Wind, and another thereafter since I knew I was faster than Heracross. And for Vespiquen, I gambled yet again, hoping that T was faster and that HM Power would take him out. And my gamble paid off. See, kids? Gambling is good. Please don't sue me. Next up is my eternal rival, Bertha. The first 3 moves was just using 3 X attacks. This is basically my tactic for the rest of the Elite Four. Saves time! Now that I gave T steroids, a Dragon Claw took out Whiscash. For Gliscor, to avoid a fast Pokemon fainting T, I used a Hyper Potion. Then they attacked. Unfortunately, my Dragon Claw, after 3 X attacks, still wasn't enough. So that means they get another Earthquake, and will heal next turn. So while they healed, I just used another X attack. This way, Dragon Claw was now strong enough. Hippowdon is after Gliscor. I wasn't sure if Dragon Claw would still be enough, but thankfully it was. 2 Dragon Claws brought down her Rhyperior, and for Golem, I use an Earth Power and deal their defense. They're retorted with Earthquake. Next turn, I know that all I need to do is just attack, but just in case my attack was a high roll, I healed. An Earthquake. I also, for good measure, use an X Special. In hindsight, I was better off just attacking, yet another Earthquake on their end, and I finally defeated Bertha with an Earth Power. Again, I probably could have done the ending a little better, but you know what I'm trying to do here, right? Flint is next, and of course, up against Houndoom, I used 2 X specials. I also healed since their attack did pretty well against T. Now that that's over, Earth Power predictably beat the Houndoom. Weirdly, early Potentiality didn't take out the Flareon, but at least they missed a Will-O-Wisp. This meant the Ominous Wind would just take away their HP, while also increasing my stats to boot. Earth Power fainted the Infernape and the Rapidash. I used Dragon Claw against Magmortar since I have no PP in my special moves, while they did an infinitesimal Flamethrower. Another Dragon Claw gave me the win. Lucian is the last opponent prior to the champion. We're almost there, guys. Also, prior to fighting, I taught Shadow Claw to T, both to gain PP, and it's super effective against the dude. First 3 moves are 3 X attacks, and an X speed since I'm scared of the Alakazam. Because of all this, a Shadow Claw took out their Mr. Mime. It also fainted the Espeon. It did not take out the Bronzong, however. But after the healing and 2 more Shadow Claws, they were taken down. Shadow Claw did faint their Alakazam, and also the Gallade, but with a crit. Alright, it's time to face the champion, Cynthia. Not gonna lie, my heart's racing right now. For Spiritomb, 2 X attacks and an X speed for the later Garchomp. They did some good damage on T, so I healed. They used Shadow Ball thereafter. Despite all this, Shadow Claw still couldn't take out the Spiritomb, so they were able to get a Dark Pulse on me. They healed, I attacked, and attacked once more, finally fainting them. I wasn't confident against the Garchomp, so I healed, in which they got a Dragon Rush on me. Next turn, a single Dragon Claw took them out. Lucario's up, and I used Dragon Claw taking half, while they used Shadow Ball. I mean, does everyone have to have a super effective move against T? Of course, another Dragon Claw did it for Lucario. For Melodic, I healed, and they used Dragon Pulse. Oh, I know, you're just trying to make me mad at this point. A wasted turn, and a Dragon Claw nearly fainted them, which meant they can get another Ice Beam on T. After they healed, I used Dragon Claw, and they get an Ice Beam. And finally, I fainted them with another attack. For Roserade, a Dragon Claw nearly fainted them, while they almost fainted T with Extrasensory. Next, they healed, and because of that, just 2 more attacks finished them off. Last up is Togekiss. I healed T while they attack with Air Slash. Next turn, I use X attack just in case, and they use Air Slash again. A Dragon Claw, and they missed their 3rd Air Slash. And just 1 more Dragon Claw did it to give T the championship. Though we're not technically supposed to stop the timer up until the championship is made official. Bruh. And here we are, guys. T was then put into the Hall of Fame. Along with Tot, Bellsmart, Uhura, MC Hammer, Groot, Shiitake, Jock, Joseph, Kitty Cow, Ekans, Coughing, Priceless, Purpose, Doug, and Doug, Groot. Oh, dang it. Good Boy, Norman, I Eat Birds, The Explosion Squad, H to Arceus, Aaron, Breath, and Foot. Unfortunately, we can't count Roar yet until he beats his game, with an official time of 5 hours and 33 minutes. I will be honest, I am a little disappointed in that time, and I know there are so many parts of this challenge where I could have done so much better, but while, like I said, I'm disappointed in it, I'm still continually getting better with every single speedrun I do. Last time I did this, it was about, I think, closer to 6 hours with HD Arceus, so I at least gotta pat my back for some progression. And that's it! Thanks for watching! If you liked the video, please let me know. If you like the content, please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to click on that bell looking thing so that you don't miss anything. Lastly, if you have any prayers, please let me know. I unfortunately forgot to say this at the end of my videos, but I'm saying it now. If you have anything you want me to pray about, please let me know, and I'll most definitely pray for you. And with that, I say, bye. Yo, real quick, I just want to thank all my patrons. Carrie Dysert, Brace Mino, Howlin' Requiem, Uni Vomits on the Floor, Jaden XD 69, nice, my mom, my sister, and Plonker Boy 900. Thank you guys so very much.